Hello, Christine Gordon, President of the American Association of Cosmetology Schools. Well, it's the third part of the video series explaining the strategic plan and the direction of the American Association of Cosmetology Schools. And today we're going to be talking about Goal C. Simply stated, AACS will be the source of credible information and understanding for stakeholders and the public concerning hair, beauty, and wellness professions. It's especially exciting today to talk with you about this particular goal because just today the GRC action page has gone live. I hope by now you've had an opportunity to look at it and realize the rich wealth of information that we're now able to post for all of you, whether it's at a federal level, whether it's a state level, whether we guide our students there so that they can vote in this new election, whether we create petitions or whether we just gather information. But being a source of credible information for the stakeholders and the public is especially vital for this association. As we've talked about over the course of the last few weeks, AACS is known for the capital that it's been able to gain up here in Washington, D.C. But our information must be credible information. We must become a repository of good information and data. Myself, as part of the GRC committee, oftentimes I've been in meetings, most recently with the Small Business Administration, had meetings with the Department of Education, where they want to see specific data about our industry and about our schools. And while most of us are somewhat appalled when we're asked about those things, after all, if you're like me, it seems certainly that I spend most of my time giving government agencies data. I'm currently, just like you, getting my campus crime together, making sure that IPEDS collection is done, getting ready to do the NACIS annual report. But at the same time, what real data do we have in our industry? So knowing that we were going to need a repository, if you will, or an infrastructure for this data, and it needed to be two-way. We need to gather information from our members. In addition to that, we need to be certain that we're getting credible data from the various different agents out to the membership. I certainly hope that you have seen that this is a goal that the association not only has dedicated itself to, but in a relatively short period of time, I think that we've made huge strides. The second part of that is really talking about not only a source of credible information for the stakeholders, being yourselves, but also the public. Remember way back in the very first part of the video series when we talked about some of the things that maybe impedes our ability for cosmetology to be a premier career is simply the fact that it's not always thought of as a career that one wants to aspire to. So when we talked about how are we going to be the source of credible information and understanding for the public, we knew that we needed a campaign, a great campaign, a significant campaign, and yet at the same time, as associations go, we're not AARP, we're not some of these massive associations with endless PR dollars. So how are we going to be able to go out to the public? How are we going to explain to them what a great opportunity becoming a beauty and wellness professional is? So what we decided to do was to create a public relations committee and to make certain that on that committee we had a cross-section of the membership with expertise and PR, and that we had good content providers. But we needed to create a campaign to let the public know of the great works that our licensed professionals do. And from that idea, Beauty Changes Lives was born. It started out as a marketing initiative through AACS, and our goal was to create lots of stories about how does beauty change lives. What is the career path of someone who begins maybe with very humble backgrounds like myself and yet has an opportunity to get a license which opens up the doors to a world that was far beyond my imagination at one point in my life? How do we make sure that those stories are being told again and again and again? So as you recall, Beauty Changes Lives was born. We ask for you to put stories, your student stories, your own stories. How has beauty changed your life? As that role began to progress with Beauty Changes Lives, it also became clear to us that to do a really significant campaign, perhaps we could look at pooling all different sorts of resources in regards to PR, but we also were going to need a vehicle. In other words, we have AACS, and AACS is all about advocacy. But if we were to have another vehicle, a charity vehicle, where people could donate money, where people could endow in a very significant way this particular charity, perhaps that would give us an opportunity to expound upon the wonderful opportunities within the beauty industry. And so for that reason, we did create a charity foundation, also named Beauty Changes Lives. The purpose of the charity foundation is to allow others, and when we talk about others, this could be the fashion industry, could be the makeup industry. You see, we know our story. We know that beauty changes lives. Ask any school owner, ask any beauty school student. But does the public know what we really do? How profound we are when it comes to changing lives, to changing students and creating career paths. So by having the charity foundation, it is our hope that in a very significant way, we will have someone who will step up and say, you know what, beauty changed my life, and I want to give others that opportunity. And we needed to have a vehicle, so we created the foundation. At this point, we've only had the foundation for a little over about 9 months, but I'm absolutely certain that in a relatively short period of time, someone is going to step up, someone that's going to be significant, someone that's going to say, you know what, that beauty industry, the stories that they tell, what they have to give, and what they brought to me is significant, and I want to endow. I want to be a part of that. I want to know that I'll be able to give a tax-exempt donation for scholarships so that those scholarships can be used in AACS schools so that beauty can continue to change lives. So on this particular goal, Goal C, making certain that ACTS is the source of credible information and understanding for the stakeholders and the public, I think that you will find that we've done a great deal of work, although there's been a little confusion about it. But make no mistake, our core purpose through AACS is advocacy. But our vision is that the beauty and wellness profession will become a premier profession that will become coveted, and that's what your association stands for. So, next week, we're on to the 4th part in our video series, and I'll look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.